Holding up signs that say no kings. They are very, very insistent that we not have kings. And then King Charles comes to the congressional chamber, and these guys break out in rapturous applause. So maybe they don't care so much about kings as they pretend that they do. Maybe they just don't like the agenda that we're implementing that's actually making American workers and American families safe and prosperous again.
U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance is facing heavy online ridicule after making a bizarre comparison involving King Charles while defending U.S. President Donald Trump during a White House press briefing. Vance stepped in for White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on Tuesday while she remains on maternity leave. During the briefing, he addressed the growing No Kings protest movement, demonstrations aimed at criticizing what activists describe as Trump's increasingly authoritarian leadership style during his second presidential term. But while pushing back against the protests, Vance unexpectedly brought Britain's monarch into the debate.
One of the great ironies of this job is that for the past couple of years, you see these protests break out all over the country, and sometimes, they're fairly well attended, and sometimes they're very poorly attended. Everybody holds these signs saying no kings, right? And how many Democratic lawmakers have I seen holding up signs that say no kings? They are very, very insistent that we not have kings. And then King Charles comes to the congressional chamber, and these guys break out in rapturous applause. So maybe they don't care so much about kings as they pretend that they do. Maybe they just don't like the agenda that we're implementing that's actually making American workers and American families safe and prosperous again.
The U.S. Vice President argued that critics were simply opposed to Trump's administration's policies, which he claimed were helping American workers and families. However, the internet wasted no time tearing apart the comparison. Political strategist Mike Nellis mocked the argument online, writing on X, "Republicans like Vance really think they have a winner with this criticism that Democrats applauded King Charles when he was here, but in reality, it just makes them look like stupid dorks." Others pointed out the major flaw in Vance's logic, writing, "Charles is a figurehead, not a dictator." The No Kings protests first gained traction earlier this year, with demonstrations erupting in multiple American cities. Organizers have accused Trump of attempting to govern like a strongman rather than a democratically elected president. The White House has repeatedly dismissed the demonstrations, previously labeling them Trump derangement therapy sessions. Meanwhile, Hollywood figures have also weighed in on the protests. Actor Robert De Niro, who attended one demonstration in New York City, warned that Trump's leadership was becoming increasingly dangerous. But despite the political tension surrounding the protests, much of the online conversation this week centered on Vance's unexpected King Charles comparison, a remark many users described as awkward, tone-deaf, and completely missing the point.
I'll try to make this short. There was, you might have seen this, there was a massive United Kingdom rally in London just last weekend. They were protesting mass illegal immigration and the replacement of British culture. What message do you think this should send to globalist European leaders and to leaders here? And also, I wanted to ask about several House members are revamping this push to pass it's called the Dignity Act, but it's really just an amnesty bill giving work visas and allowing millions of illegals to stay in the country. Is that something the White House wants to see stopped in the House?
Well, number one, I don't like giving amnesty to anybody. Number two, since you asked about Great Britain and the United Kingdom rally, one of the great ironies of this job is that for the past couple of years, you see these protests break out all over the country, and sometimes, they're fairly well attended, and sometimes they're very poorly attended. Everybody holds these signs saying no kings, right? And how many Democratic lawmakers have I seen holding up signs that say no kings? They are very, very insistent that we not have kings. And then King Charles comes to the congressional chamber, and these guys break out in rapturous applause. So maybe they don't care so much about kings as they pretend that they do. Maybe they just don't like the agenda that we're implementing that's actually making American workers and American families safe and prosperous again. But to answer your question about this immigration issue, look, one of the problems that we have in all of Western societies is that we have a lot of people who have decided, Wall Street bankers, corporate lobbyists, and government officials, that what the United States and what the West need is more and more cheap labor. What we believe in this White House is what we need more and more of is high wages for American workers and investing in our own people. What you see all over the West, and it's kind of crazy, is this idea that the way to generate prosperity is to bring in millions and millions of unvetted people and drop them into your neighborhoods, and we simply reject that idea. So to everybody in the UK who rejects that idea, I'd encourage them to just keep on going. It's okay to want to defend your culture. It's okay to want to live in a safe neighborhood. It's okay to want your job to go to yourself and your neighbors and not to a stranger who you don't even know. It is reasonable for the people in Western societies to want to control who comes into their country and who doesn't. A lot of people, frankly, a lot of people in the media have tried to persuade all of those people that it's somehow racist to want to protect your borders, even though very often the very people who are most affected by low-wage immigration are lower-income Black and Hispanic Americans right here in the United States of America, and I guarantee that's true in the UK. So we believe in making America great again. You can't do that unless you protect your borders. I'd encourage our friends in the UK to follow the same path. Thank you all. Good to see you.